Hello everyone, and we continue to follow the events on the front lines of Ukraine. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Your engagement is my motivation to create quality content. And let's start with today's reports of a large number of explosions from both the Ukrainian and Russian sides. Rescue teams have discovered 2 ground ruptures in one of the districts of Kharkiv after Russian strikes during the night. In total, Kharkiv's rescue teams were deployed 4 times within 24 hours to inspect potential impact sites, and in 3 cases the information wasn't confirmed. Also, last night, Russia again attacked Zaporizhia and unfortunately resulting in civilian casualties. Currently, one district in Zaporizhia is experiencing a power outage, and emergency services are working to restore the power supply. Additionally, an infrastructure facility has been damaged and nearby buildings have had windows blown out by the shockwave. On the Russian-occupied side, there is more interesting news emerging. Currently, there are reports of explosions in Lugansk, Mariupol, Berdyansk, and even news that Sevastopol is under drone attack since 5 a.m. In the direction of Dvorichna and Svatovo, the occupiers continue shelling. The Ukrainian armed forces have successfully repelled all previous attacks and the front line remains unchanged. The situation is quite challenging in the Kremina area. The occupiers are attempting to storm the Dibrova district. There have been no changes along the front line in the past 24 hours, but we have to wait and see how these battles will conclude. Reconnaissance drones continue to conduct surveillance across the entire front line and shelling continues. In the Siversk area, the occupiers are not conducting any offensive operations. Even in the Bilohorivka area, the attacks have ceased. Although the occupiers previously attempted to break through to the settlement practically every day without stopping. And today there are mainly shelling incidents. And it seems that the occupiers are accumulating strengths for new offensive actions. In the Bakhmut direction, the Ukrainian forces report significant progress in the Kurdyumivka area, but until official statements are made and changes are shown on the map, and we have to wait and see. As for Klishchiivka, it is reported that the settlement hasn't been fully liberated despite being marked as such on the map. And there are still quite a few occupiers there and the fighting continues. And the occupiers also continue their attacks in the Berkhivka area, but there have been no changes along the front line in the past 24 hours. In the Avdiivka direction, the attacks continue in the Pervomaisky area, and there is heavy shelling around Avdiivka. The battles also persist in Mariinka and Novomykhailivka, but there have been no changes along the front line in the past 24 hours. As we can see, the occupiers don't cease their offensive actions, but there are no tangible results and they suffer losses every day. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers continue shelling all front lines and actively conduct reconnaissance of the territory. However, the Ukrainian armed forces haven't initiated new offensive actions so far, and according to Russian reports, periodic tactical battles take place, but they don't lead to any changes along the front line. In the Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers continue shelling without engaging in offensive actions. At the same time, the Ukrainian armed forces haven't launched a counter-attack following previous attempts. Instead, there is artillery preparation of the area up to 15 kilometers deep. Therefore, we can expect further attempts to break through the occupiers' defense in the near future. And the situation in the Kherson direction remains stable. The occupiers continue shelling along the entire front line, but the Ukrainian armed forces remain on the left bank and hold new positions. They are being covered by fire from the right bank, preventing the occupiers from reclaiming their coastal territory around the Antoniv Bridge. Overall, the confrontation continues without significant changes along the front line. On July 15th, the Russian occupiers in the Tavria direction suffered losses, including 2 platoons of servicemen, 6 units of equipment, including 2 armored personnel carriers, the Murov M long-range visual observation complex, the Poly-21 electronic warfare system, automotive equipment, and 3 ammunition depots. Just a reminder, a platoon is a formation that consists of 80 to 250 soldiers, and we can confidently multiply this number by 2. So, from the Ukrainian side, their results are very impressive. Also, for those who claim that the Ukrainian counteroffensive is progressing slowly, I have some interesting information. According to the Washington Post, Ukraine's counteroffensive is moving slowly because the areas in front of Russian defensive fortifications are heavily mined. Prior to the counteroffensive, Ukraine received less than 15% of the requested SEPA and engineering equipment from Western partners. Soldiers reported that the preparation for the counteroffensive, which started about a month ago in various areas of the battlefield in eastern and southern Ukraine, gave the Russians time to prepare. Areas ranging from 3 to 10 miles in depth in front of the main Russian strongholds were densely mined with anti-tank and anti-personnel mines and tripwires. According to them, these defensive structures are successfully holding back the Ukrainian advance. As a result, Ukrainian forces have changed their strategy. Instead of attempting to break through using infantry fighting vehicles and tanks provided by Western allies, Ukrainian units are advancing slowly on foot. According to the Washington Post, Ukraine's struggle on minefields has exposed the vulnerability of armored personnel carriers and tanks, especially the newly arrived American Bradley fighting vehicles and German Leopard tanks, which officials believed were crucial for Ukraine to regain the territory occupied by the Russians. And according to Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Valery Zaluzhny, Ukraine needs specialized remote equipment for demining. In an interview with the Washington Post, he stated that Ukraine is using the M58 mine clearing line charge systems provided by the US, but they also get destroyed, so we need a lot of them. Meanwhile, people are dying, houses are being destroyed, and entire cities are suffering in Ukraine. Bulgarian President Rumen Radev stated that Ukraine is simply instiging on waging war against Russia, and Europe allegedly pays the price for it. This is the new self of the head of state regarding the war. Previously, Radev called on Bulgaria to adhere to a neutral position. Since the beginning of the Russian invasion, Radev has defended positions close to the Kremlin stance. He often uses the word conflict instead of war and opposes providing weapons to defend Kiev. He also opposes economic sanctions against Russia, and hopefully he will open his eyes soon and see what is really happening. But that's all from me. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.